Hi everybody, Matt Weatherly here from Public Sector Personnel Consultants. We wanted to provide you with an overview of the upcoming JPD classification and compensation study. The full name of our firm again is Public Sector Personnel Consultants. We are a third-party firm that has been selected to review and update job descriptions, conduct a salary survey, and review the JPD pay scale. So we want to just create a brief opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about the process, highlight your opportunities to participate, and then we'll turn you loose on a little bit of homework in the form of a job questionnaire that will enable you to review your job description. The project itself will take about 90 to 120 days. As a third party, this is the type of work that we do for cities, for counties, for school districts, for public employers throughout the United States. We've had a chance to work with just over 75 public employers in the state of Texas. On a local basis, we've had a chance to work with the city of El Paso as well as El Paso County. And all that qualifies us to do is ask good questions, such as what is JPD's employment market? What factors influence JPD's ability to recruit and to retain employees? Another way to look at the market itself is where else might you be able to go to work? Maybe JPD competes with the federal government, maybe they compete with the county or the city. So we want to answer all of those questions really kind of in the form of getting familiar with JPD's jobs. The project itself can be broken into two major components. The first 3 to 4 weeks will be an opportunity for you to review your job description. We'll ask everybody to fill out a job questionnaire, either individually or as part of a group. And the intent of that is to ensure that when we do a salary survey, we compare your job based on the actual job duties that are assigned to your job description and not just based on your job title. There are about 45 or 50 different job titles currently in the JPD pay scale, and hopefully you either fit or maybe you don't quite fit into one of those 45 or 50 different job descriptions. So goal number one is simply to get it right. What job titles are appropriate? What job classification and job description is appropriate specifically for your job? So we'll have you fill out a questionnaire that you can write down your job duties and your responsibilities, answer a few questions about work environment, the types of decisions that you make. You're welcome to reference your current job description, but you don't have to copy and paste because we also have a copy of those job descriptions. This is something that a lot of public employers do, I would say every 5 to 7 years, maybe every 10 years. So it's very possible that your job description is out of date. This will be an opportunity for you to provide direct input into the job description review process itself. One of the potential outcomes might be for us to create a few new job titles, perhaps clean up or change your job title to better reflect your duties, your responsibilities, perhaps your role as a lead or as a supervisor as well. Once we have that established, and that will be maybe the first 4 to 6 weeks of the process overall, we'll start a discussion with your leadership, whether that's with JPD chief staff or JPD board, on defining the market. Where does JPD get employees? Where does JPD lose employees to? What that helps us understand is where we need to go get data. Who has jobs like yours in the market so that we can conduct a salary survey. Now, JPD currently utilizes a pay scale. Every job description has a pay range from minimum to maximum. It's separated by steps, and that's very common among other public employers. We will compare the pay range for your job and for your job description to like jobs out in the market to help inform and answer 2 key questions. One, how do we stack up? How do we compare? How are we doing compared to the market that we're competing with? Right behind that helps inform really the planning process and the budget process. Where do we need to be or where do we want to be with respect to pay in order to recruit and in order to retain staff? Now remember, I said you've got about 45 or 50 different job titles. We may not be able to survey every single job, but when we do survey over 40 jobs, we will inherently find that some jobs are competitive and perhaps some jobs have fallen behind the market. If corrections are needed, it may take multiple budget cycles to catch our pay scale and our pay ranges up for all jobs. One thing that we do like to strive for in a study like this is for all jobs to have a similar relationship to market. If we move your pay grade, we may need to move your salary. However, in an effort to manage your expectations, don't go buy a new truck. Don't expect to get rich as a result of the salary survey itself. It doesn't replace your budget process or anything else that you might be used to on an annual basis. But if we need to move your pay grade, we may also need to move your salary to make sure that it stays in that pay grade. Now, the opposite could also be true, but I'll also say what this study is not. It is not a staffing study. It is not a review of your performance, and it is not anyone's intent to reduce salaries or even to reduce pay grades if we can avoid that. If your pay grade is above market, or if your salary is above your pay grade, nobody's going backwards. Now, we might have to wait for the market to catch up. So you may be topped out for a while, or your salary might be held near the top of the pay grade for a while until the market says that it's okay to move that pay grade again. Now, really, that's a lot of paper exercise. Basically, we're comparing job descriptions to like jobs out in the market. We're comparing pay ranges for those like jobs to at least, again, inform are we competitive and where do we need to be if we're not competitive. Ultimately, all of our findings and recommendations get poured into updated job descriptions, perhaps updated pay grades and pay tables, and then we'll present all of our findings and recommendations to the JPD board and to their designees, so management staff, command staff across JPD, so that we can present all of our findings and recommendations. Yes, all of that information ultimately becomes public. We will help JPD in identifying the best way to implement the study, implement our findings and recommendations, so we'll be able to report out all of the work that we did, who we compared to, who we compared your job specifically to, as well as recommended pay grades for all jobs. Again, it'll take about 120 days, so we're very excited to get started. We definitely look forward to inviting you to fill out a job questionnaire and just maybe a few other logistic notes about that. You will see an opportunity to fill out a questionnaire either online or on paper. We have them available as Microsoft Word documents. We have them available on an intranet site that is really kind of a survey gizmo so that you can track your questionnaire, you can fill it out online, you can save it and come back to it. So there'll be very specific instructions that'll be very important to pay attention to, including some due dates and some deadlines. The questionnaires cannot be changed by anybody. They will be reviewed by your team lead, by your lead staff, by command staff, but nobody will change what you give us on those questionnaires. We want to make sure that you don't forget anything, so it's very important that there is a review process where leaders can kind of review and comment in case we forgot a job duty or two. Those questionnaires are also available in Spanish, and it's really important that we hear from at least one person from every job. So I know that I need at least 40 or 50 different questionnaires turned in. Ideally, we'd get a couple hundred questionnaires turned in. But if you want to work on those as a group, even the online version has the ability to tag a friend or a coworker that shares job duties with you, and you can work on those as a group, or you can get together and start it on a separate piece of paper and then have one person write it up and get it turned in. We do have staff on our side as a third party that can certainly speak, read, write in Spanish. So we have those capabilities. If you're more comfortable submitting your information that way, we are more than happy to take that information in Spanish just as we are as in English. With that, I will direct you to the questionnaire video. Each section will have some instructions that you can follow along. You can make some notes just so that nobody loses their progress. Know that as you start in the system, it will trap all of your progress. So if you don't see an email link to picking back up wherever you leave off, know that we have that information, so don't worry about losing any of that effort. If you fill it out on paper, make sure that you keep a copy of the questionnaire for yourself, because it does have to change hands a couple of times before it gets to our desk for our review and for job description updating. Thank you again in advance for filling out a questionnaire. Certainly thank you for your time in reviewing the video. We look forward to hopefully seeing everybody a little bit more in person than we can right now. But in the meantime, take some time with that questionnaire. They'll take an hour or two. But certainly thank you in advance for your participation, and we look forward to bringing back some of the results. Thanks again.